Year 1974, the year in which Chetan Bhagat, Shweta Menon, Mahesh Bhupati, Karishma Kapoor and VVS Lakshman were born. VV Giri was the President of India and the Iron Lady Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. India, then an underdeveloped third world country, successfully detonated its first nuclear weapon near the Pakistani border, making it the sixth nation to do so. Ironically, the project was codenamed Smiling Buddha. In the same year, precisely on November 4th, around 8 am, nearly 200 boys and girls in their mid-teens walked into the forays of the prestigious institution in the sleepy capital city of Kerala, College of Engineering Trivandrum or CET as it is known today.
Professor Narayana Iyer was the principal. Dr. Vasudev was the DTE. Ragging was at its peak in those days. But to be fair enough, ragging in those days strictly followed unwritten conventions and was well within the boundaries set by age-old traditions.
The Freshers' Day changed everything. Fearful seniors became friendly. Many of the seniors turned out to be our friend, philosopher and guru. Life became fun. We really started enjoying the free and vibrant ambience of CET. Bell-bottom and long collar shirts were fashion. The campus was a kingdom with a difference. Final years were the undisputed masters. Their writ was final. Everything went by covenants set by traditions and unwritten regulations created by several past generations of seniors. We got a new identity and some of us their first bank account.
That year, we learned two telephone numbers which we will not forget for life. 8288, that of Men's Hostel MH, and 8368, that of Ladies Hostel LH. Large drawing halls with numerous drawing boards were a curious sight, but the drawing assignments gave sleepless nights. Our journey through 4 eventful years had begun.
1975. On 12 June 1975, the High Court of Allahabad declared Indira Gandhi's election to the Lok Sabha void on grounds of electoral malpractice. In a very unexpected move, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declared a state of internal emergency. The press was censored and thousands of political leaders, including stalwarts like Jayaprakash Narayan, Moraji Desai and Vajpayee were jailed. In neighboring Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was killed in a military coup. Preeti Zinta, Akshay Khanna, Kajol and Sushmita Sen were born in the year. Sholay and Diwar were released in the same year. Sholay subsequently became the highest grossing Indian film of all time, earning a gross of Rs 230 crores and net gross of Rs 215 crores.
In 1975, a 19-year-old kid and his 22-year-old business partner sold their first program to a little computer company in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The name of the 19-year-old kid was Bill Gates and his partner was Paul Allen. The program was called BASIC. The name Microsoft was used by Bill Gates in a letter to Paul Allen for the first time, and it was the start of this company we call Microsoft.
Back here in the college, the emergency took away the fun and independence of campus life to some extent. In a daring move, a huge public meeting by students held in the hostel strongly condemned the emergency. But protests abated slowly. Ragging was totally banned. Few of our friends had to face the music and were expelled from the hostel. With no STD or email, communications were through letters during vacations.
1976. Sanjay Gandhi rose to prominence. Abhishek Bachchan and Baichung Bhutia were born.
Dard bhari awaaz of Mukesh turned silent. film Chichor was released, catapulting Yeshudas into Bollywood. Apple Computer Company was formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak on April 1st. Microsoft was officially registered at the state of New Mexico on November 26th. The first laser printer was introduced by IBM.
In a peaceful coup, third years headed by Ramesh virtually swept the hostile elections, ending the monopoly of the final years. But at that time, nobody knew that it was a victory to be followed by electoral defeats later. Hostile days were an occasion to freak out.
1977. Internal emergency was lifted. The first non-Congress government swept to power following Indira Gandhi's defeat at the general elections. Morarji Desai became Prime Minister. South India voted in favour of Congress. Karunakaran, who took over as Chief Minister of Kerala, had to resign as a fallout of Rajan case.
The world's first personal all-in-one computer, the Commodore PET, was demonstrated at the Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. Oracle Corporation was incorporated. TCP/IP test succeeded, connecting 3 ARPANET nodes in what eventually became the Internet Protocol. Optical fiber was first used to carry live telephone traffic.
Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, died in his home in Graceland at the age of 42. The movie Amar Akbar Anthony was released.
My name is Bhajan Gonsalves. मैं दुनिया में अकेला हूँ.
Lifting of emergency brought the life back to campus. Campus life once again became vibrant. In a rare show of solidarity, all professional students in the city joined hands demanding release of Rajan, who was believed to be in police custody. An unexpected coincidence, Sri Karunakaran resigned the very next day of our protest demonstration. Technical exhibition CETEX and construction of planetarium were the highlights of the year. The low-cost house nicknamed Shell Cone became central to many pranks organized by some of the great visionaries in our batch. And by now, we were the final years. The year was also tumultuous. Relations with juniors were at its lowest ebb. There were setbacks in college and hostel elections. Juniors used the same half-truth which we invented for winning the hostel elections the previous year. The panel headed by Vinod Govinda Pillai for College Union and that headed by Surinder Singh for Hostel Union were rooted in the elections. Ishwara Pillai was a lone winner for University Union Councillor post. Campus witnessed very unusual incidents after that. Final years rejected election verdict and refused to accept the elected college union. Parallel College Union headed by Joseph Paul was formed. The Freshers' Day and the College Day were actually organized by the Parallel Union. It was amusing to see the elected chairman and college union members attending the Parallel College Day functions.
1978. Indira Gandhi was re-elected to the Indian Parliament, but was later arrested and jailed for a week for breach of privilege and contempt of Parliament. Rani Mukherjee, Virendra Sehwag, Manju Warrier, Jayasuriya were born. Satyam Shivam Sundaram and Dawn were released. And by now, the teenagers of 1974 were the mature final years of CET. In spite of the rout in the elections, we could regain the traditional glory and dominance. As is the tradition, that year's overall championship was also lifted by final years.
End of the academic year was eventful, with the holy celebration going haywire, resulting in the suspension of 2 students and paving the way for the inauguration of the SFI unit in the college by Shivan Kutty, then University Union Chairman. M.R. Anil Kumar was the first organizing secretary of the CET SFI unit. Rest is history.
Finally, when we said goodbye and left the campus in 1978, little did we know that most of us will be meeting again only after 35 years on this day of 10th August at Puvar. And we never imagined the internet, first created when we were in the 3rd year, will become single largest factor in bringing us all together again. And today, it will be very appropriate to express our appreciation to Raghu, who created this email group long back.
As we entered our final year in 1977, NASA launched Voyager 1, the American space probe, to study the outer solar system and eventually interstellar space. Operating for more than 35 years as of today, the spacecraft receives routine commands and transmits data back. It is the first probe to leave the solar system and is the farthest man-made object from Earth. Voyager 1, having completed its primary mission and reached the edge of solar system, was commanded by NASA to turn around and photograph the planets of the solar system. One of the pictures returned was of Earth, showing up as a pale blue dot in the grainy photograph. In his book, Pale Blue Dot, A Vision of the Human Future in Space, astronomer Carl Sagan related his thoughts on a deeper meaning of the photograph.
From this distant vantage point, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest. But for us, it's different. Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering.
And today, after 35 years, when we look back, we may see those 4 years as a tiny pale blue dot in our lives. But that was when we lived our lives in the true spirit of friendship, happiness and independence. That's home, that's us. That's the time when we met everyone who really touched our lives, everyone we really care about, everyone we ever would love to meet again, the aggregate of our joy and fun.
That's what brings us back to the city again, even after those long 35 years. All we can say is, oh, those were the days.
Welcome to the grand reunion of 1978 CET batch.